morning, everyone. Hope you are having a great day. Such a beautiful day in spring, and we are all here to celebrate amazing entrepreneurs. I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but that never took off. It's not easy. My idea never came out anywhere. It is still in one of my dreams. And I feel it's great, it will work one fine day when I really want to do it. But that's unfortunately not how it works. It needs a lot of grit, a lot of perseverance to bring that idea to life. And most importantly, to adapt to the changes of how we thought initially and to refine and iterate and become a great product. So it involves a lot of passion, perseverance behind it. And it's not just about the money. Money, yeah, it counts, but it's the impact that these entrepreneurs are leaving behind. That's what makes them so unique. And today we are here celebrating these amazing participants who have already taken this next step to be entrepreneurs. They have already surpassed the millions or even billions who are still dreaming but have not made that first step. So congratulations, you have already won. So this is a great occasion to celebrate this grit of yours, the perseverance to make your ideas seen by the world. So welcome all the participants to the Idea Time 2026. And when we have all these budding entrepreneurs present, we cannot have dreamers sit and evaluate them. We need strong minds who have been through this journey themselves with a lot of hard work, sacrifices to make that right judgment. I can write on a piece of paper what their presentation felt, but that's not the point. We need that real feedback that makes the impact to their entrepreneurship lives. So I am so proud to announce the judges for today. George Brody, Manoj Balraj and Ranjit Lal. And they have been in the DFW Metroplex as leading entrepreneurs, and we got the best today. So we are so proud to have that. Welcome judges to the event. And when it comes to entrepreneurship again, it's something that keeps changing in the market. The industry is like, the transformation is like never ending, and the rate of transformation is never ending. So we needed some industry expert as well as someone who is very close to academia to partner with us to make this program successful. And that's where we have this amazing partnership with UTD. And I am so thankful, and I want to welcome Professor Dr. Ramesh Subramanian to this Idea Time.
So Ramesh also leads a JERS program, and I would want to invite Ramesh to speak about JERS program in a moment.
And also in the meantime, all who have been here to attend, even though you have your own experiences, this is also your first step to learn from these entrepreneurs and these judges and this amazing day. So everyone, please welcome yourself and be proud that you are here for this. And today is not measured by the number of people here again. The count doesn't matter. But what happens here, that matters. So please enjoy the day, make it very enriching for each of you, and I welcome each of you to Idea Time 2026. And before I wrap up and hand over to Professor Ramesh, I would also like to welcome especially the main event coordinator, Sharon James. There's been a lot of hard work gone behind the scenes. There's a lot of research Sharon did, the format of the Idea Tank as well as the judgment criteria. So I would like to thank Sharon for all the great work he has done behind the scenes. And last but not the least, I also would like to thank and welcome the committee 2026, who has been a strong support for Sharon and to make today happen. So please sit back and enjoy the day and have an enriching experience. Off to Professor Ramesh.
So welcome to UT Dallas. I was told by, okay. So I was instructed actually by Rahul and Sharon that I should keep it under 5 minutes. So 5 minute best is not a pitch competition, but it's kind of a pitch actually. So I want to talk about UT Dallas because I work here as a professor of operations management in the Naveen Jindal School of Management. So so proud to be a part of this community. These are some things which you may not have seen actually, because I didn't know when I first walked into the industry 8 years ago, to be a part of the business school. Things have changed rapidly. So I want to introduce a couple of things here, which are, we belong to a system where we have 30,000 students. So we are about 50 years old. It's a young university, and 10,000 of those students are coming from the Naveen Jindal School of Management. Okay? So again, 50 years is not a long time for a school to grow and all that. So that's so some of the things I want to really point out. We are number 2 worldwide in research contributions. When I say that, it really means that it's top journal publications by faculty members. So number 2, number 6 ranking in Financial Times and so on. So ranking has been going up for the last 30 years. If you look at where we were 30 years ago, it has climbed up in ranking thanks to our visionary dean who has been here for 30 years from the School of Management. He just pushed it up, step by step. And so you can see that compared to Financial Times also is an independent group that works on it. In terms of operations management, we are actually number 1. So you can see how much MIT is behind us, in terms of ranking. So we are getting the top faculty members from MIT, Stanford, Harvard, and these are the places where our new faculty members are coming in. So very proud of that. And overall for the business school, we are just number 2 to Wharton, okay, in terms of research publications. So it's a big achievement, and everybody here, the high schoolers here think about UT Austin, but Austin is not the top research institution in the business, from the business school perspective. UTD is ranked much higher than that, okay? So we just got ranked number 23 as the best full-time MBA in the US last week. The US News and World Reports, that was a big news for us. First time in the top 25 business schools in the country. So this is a big achievement. We are just 5 ranks away from UT Austin. So it's like another big milestone for us. And you can see other rankings also, which we don't generally get to see. So that's why I put it in here, like number 9 in terms of public universities and part-time MBA programs. They're all the top 10, and online programs are really ranked very high as number 2 and number 1 as well. So going to the research program I want to talk about. So I have a new program which I started about 2 years ago. The name is Jindal Undergraduate Research Course. We talk about mostly on how to do research, business school research. They get to write literature review papers in the first semester, and then they go into the fall semester and work on research methods taught by tenured professors who've been working on the leading edge journals, so that you get to hear from them from every domain as to how research is done with different methods they use. And then you can work on independent study throughout your time here at UTD. And again, I want to stress that it's not only for JSOM. We are absorbing students from other schools like computer science, political science, biology, physics. Computer science has a big presence because of the AI thing and so on. So it's completely becoming an interdisciplinary research program here at JSOM. Okay, so 65 students currently in the program. And 50% of them are working on real-world industry projects. Like, many of them are, I think, from Ment also we have some sponsors, like Prasad who is supporting us. And there are many other companies like Cummins, Thermoplan, TerraPower, and they reached out and they want to be a part of this emerging community of research scholars. So again, great opportunity to work and look at all these, give you like 10 seconds to browse through the kind of research that are going on with the students today, and you would be amazed at what they're actually going after. And I said to the dean last week, and he looked at it and said, I'm truly impressed with the quality of students who are actually taking up these type of research projects, which are very different, unique, And the PhD program coordinator from the JSON said, hey, any of these can be a doctoral research dissertation. That's what he thought. So kudos to the students, and also, again, we are not pushing them to go in a certain way. They are picking these topics up and driving it. So again, great opportunity. We'll continue to expand. Our goal is to give you 100 students this year. Okay, so these are some of the clippings we have client visits which we do throughout the semester. We have some sustainability competition we run every year. So we are doing one this year, which is going very well. Presentations which we do on campus as well as outside, and then we have publications. Our goal is to get paper publications done, conferences attended, and so on. So one thing I want to say is that many of these students are freshman students. So very young students are actually doing these things. That's a big surprise for most of the people from the industry as well as the academic community. So with that, thank you so much. Enjoy the idea competition, and I hope to see some big winners out of this. Any Q&A? If you have any questions about the JERS program, anybody has got? One thing I want to say is it's only for UT Dallas students who have been admitted to the program. So I don't take high schoolers, but high school activities are like what we do with MENT and others. But we don't absorb them into the program, which you can understand because we have limited resources, and we cannot push all those academic resources into. We are already expanding in the number of students coming in from UTD itself. So at some point we might do it, but right now we are limiting it to UT Dallas students. So thank you.
I'll start off by introducing myself. My name is Sharon James, and I'm on the MENT 2026 committee responsible for the professional development and area. My role today is just to coordinate everything, so that you'll see very little of me, hopefully, and you'll see a lot more of the participants. So, Professor Ramesh, thank you so much for your presentation. We appreciate the partnership with UTD. Another partner we want to thank, and I don't know if Prasad's in the room, the Prasad, who runs an AI company, is our event sponsor, and so we really want to thank him for sponsoring the event. We could not do this without his participation. Before we get started with the first presentation, this is my opportunity to embarrass the judges who are sitting in front of me. So I have their profiles with me. It was hard, honestly it was hard fitting it into one sheet, but that's the time we have allotted, so I'm going to do my best. I'm going to start, George, with you. So George brings an incredible mix of corporate leadership and entrepreneurship over 4 decades of experience, including building Globe Ranger from a startup into a global company, which was eventually acquired by Fujitsu. He's currently the founder and CEO of Infonet of Things. He's also the chairman of TurboStart Global, and so he works very closely with early stage startups. So if you don't know George, you should know George. Everybody knows him in the DFW area, especially if you're trying to be an entrepreneur. George was also recently inducted into the Tech Titans Hall of Fame and received the Distinguished Alumnus Award from the Indian Institute of Science as a reflection of the impact in the industry. And again, he's someone who's truly seen the entire journey from idea to scale. George, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your partnership. Manoj is sitting right next to George. Manoj Balraj is a co-founder and president of Experian Technologies, and he's helped grow it into a globally recognized product engineering company with clients across more than 30 countries. Under Manoj's leadership, the company has been featured in Inc. 5000 list for 7 consecutive years and is recognized among the fastest growing companies in the DFW region. Manoj himself has been named as the Dallas Business Journal C-Suite Leader Award. He's been awarded that recently, which reflects again the success he's had in the business and the leadership he's shown in the industry. What we really like about Manoj is he brings that builder's mindset, because he's done this before, and his strong commitment to mentoring entrepreneurs. So perfect person to be the judge for an event like this. Manoj, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. And then Ranjit Lal brings deep experience across consulting, technology, and investments, having worked with firms like EY, Deloitte, and FTI Consulting. He's been involved in over 300 M&A transactions and led numerous transformation programs, giving him that sharp perspective on what makes ideas actually work in the real world. So he'll be one of our judges with that experience through his leadership with DFW Angels. He's helped evaluate 200 plus startups and participated in multiple investments. And so we know that Ranjit knows exactly what stands out at a pitch like this in Idea Tank. And very honored to have Ranjit, a very practical, investor-focused person in today's event and being the judge here. So Ranjit, please give him a round of applause. Okay, I think we're ready for our first presentation. I want to invite Nikita Ramesh, our first presenter.
Hi everyone, my name is Nikita. I'm a sophomore at Woodson High School, and today I will be presenting to you my idea, the Oslex insert. Backpacks aren't essential. They provide everything that students and adults need in their daily lives. But over time, the way that they're carried can put immense strain on your body and negatively affect your posture. Your backpack doesn't just carry the weight, it multiplies it. With every step, it balances and creates a repeated strain on your body. So I designed Oslex, a system that stabilizes that motion and makes carrying weight much more comfortable. The real problem is backpacks don't move with your body while you're walking. They lag behind and it balances and creates a repeated strain on your body, creating repeating pulling forces on your shoulders and on your spine. Over time, this will lead to massive strain and discomfort. This is a widespread issue. Around 2 out of 3 students carry more than their recommended weight in backpacks every single day. Over 20% of adults have musculoskeletal issues due to heavy load bearing in their past, and unbalanced loads can lead to spine curvature and affect spinal alignment over time. Some existing solutions include padded backpacks and wearables. So padded backpacks use cushioning to make straps more comfortable and reduce direct pressure on your shoulders. Wearable posture correctors will signal the user when they're slouching too much, temporarily fixing posture. While these can improve posture and comfort temporarily, they don't address the core issue, which is the vertical motion of your load in your backpack while you're walking. To solve this, I created Oslex. Oslex is a modular backpack insert that fits inside nearly any backpack and stabilizes how the load moves, reducing strain and improving comfort. So how does Oslex work? As you take your step, a backpack will naturally move downwards. Instead of creating a sudden force, Oslex absorbs that motion and returns it smoothly. So this diagram will show that process in 4 steps. 1, as you step, your body and backpack will naturally move down due to gravity and motion. 2nd, your elastic bands will stretch, absorbing that kinetic energy. 3rd, there's a damping layer that slows that movement and prevents a sharp rebound. And 4th, finally, the system will return that load smoothly to its original position. So instead of a jerky up and down motion, the movement becomes controlled and gradual. Oslex is built using a combination of both structural and flexible materials. It includes a lightweight aluminum backing for support, elastic tension springs and bands to absorb the energy, and a viscoelastic damping layer to reduce the bounce. Overall, the insert will weigh approximately 1 pound, keeping the whole system lightweight and simple. Together, these materials provide both strength and controlled flexibility. So how does the Oslex insert actually work? When we walk, our bodies will naturally create an oscillating motion. The Oslex absorbs and distributes this energy, reducing the force spikes on our back and making the motion much more smoother. So instead of reducing weight, it reduces the force that are affected on our body. So these are two graphs that show how the movement of your backpack works with and without the insert. So the first graph, you can see that the oscillations are incredibly high amplitudes, and this will lead to more and higher force spikes on your body and a more bouncy, jerky motion. With the insert, you can see that the oscillations are much more dampened and there are smaller, smoother forces, which will lead to more smooth, gradual, and controlled motion. So why should you choose the Oscilex insert? Oscilex provides dynamic support. It reduces motion along with dissipating the energy of the system, works with nearly any backpack, and is lightweight and removable. The Oscilex insert can improve comfort for students and adults and reduce daily strain, leading to eventual improvement in spine health and posture. It can also have applications in travel, work, and maybe even hiking. In the future, this can include advanced materials like reinforced polymers, which are much lighter than aluminum, motion sensors, and even a more compact design. In conclusion, we've learned that weight isn't the problem, motion is. The Oscilex insert is a modular, compact solution that reduces strain by controlling how the weight moves. By making loads feel lighter and much more stable, it has the potential to improve everyday comfort and long-term spine health. Thank you, and I would love to hear any questions that you have.
So, good presentation, very nicely done. So, question is this product, have you built a prototype and can demonstrate this to students?
Unfortunately, I do not have the resources to build the prototype, but I have located where you can source the materials. So all of these materials are very globally reachable. So it's just aluminum, elastic tension bands, and viscoelastic damping gel layers. So these are very globally available and is available for a wide market as well. But I myself have not acquired the materials to build it.
So the testing, yes, has to be done yet.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Is there someone who helped validate the design?
Sorry?
Did someone help you validate the design that you created?
No.
So you designed it all by yourself?
Yes, I did.
What is your thinking around the whole manufacturing process? Where will you source it from? Where will you get it manufactured? How will you do the supply chain?
So these materials can be found anywhere in the world. So manufacturing isn't really an issue. You can honestly start anywhere. If I were to start locally, there are a lot of manufacturing companies nearby here in Dallas that source these materials. And yeah, so manufacturing can be done anywhere globally.
So, in the age of AI and more technology taking over, long content part of it, books becoming kind of things in the past, do you think this problem will really exist after 5 years, 7 years, for them to really worry about a backpack being heavy and carrying around?
So as a student in the age of AI, we still will use backpacks. And from what I've seen, I experience this issue daily, and I think that even in the future, backpacks will still be widely used no matter how much technology comes into use. Because even like throughout all the developments that we've seen throughout the years, backpacks are still a major part of every student's life. And this is also a problem that every student faces, that I've seen it personally, I've faced it. So I think that even in the future, this will be an issue that will need to be solved.
So, do you have a pricing in mind? What would you price this from?
Okay, so I have looked at how much it would cost to make one product. So with all the said materials for right now, for one insert, it would cost approximately $15 to create. And my planning is that to sell it, it would be around $25 to $30 to receive maximum profit while also sourcing it in the correct market.
How will this work with any backpack? Where do you place this inside the backpack?
Yes, so this insert will work with any standard size backpack. So one improvement that I've said is to make it more compact so it can fit in smaller backpacks if needed. But this will work in any standard size backpack. And how it works, so you place it inside the backpack. When you empty out your backpack, you place the insert inside, and there is a floating platform that you place all your weight on, and this is what reduces that bouncing. So it can work with any backpack that you have currently.
Have you done research on similar products in the market? Any homework that you did?
Yes, so I've researched about any solutions that are existing that will attempt to solve this issue. So there are padded backpacks, ergonomic backpacks, and then there are some that are specifically for posture correction, such as posture bands, wearables. The one similarity that I've noticed between all of these is they only provide like temporary relief. So padded backpacks, they'll provide temporary comfort to your shoulders, but they don't address the real issue. So the reason behind all this pain is the vertical motion of your backpack, right? So because of the lagging of the backpack, this is why we experience such pain and such stress. So these solutions don't actually aim to solve that solution. They don't affect the core problem. So I wanted to create a solution that actually will solve the problem for a long-term solution.
What is that one product you saw? That's a benchmark I should target, or maybe exceed.
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Is there a product that you saw, a backpack product that you saw and you felt that's a benchmark I want to target?
Okay, so I've seen ergonomic backpacks are extremely successful. So they're designed to distribute the pressure throughout your back. So I saw that and I was like, okay, that's really cool. That's a really cool design. But it still doesn't affect how the motion of the backpack changes. So I saw that I could add an insert so that it doesn't change the actual backpack design, but it simply improves how the load is moving. So ergonomic backpacks are a benchmark that I in fact saw.
Okay. In your research, did you come across a product called Osprey?
Sorry?
Osprey, O-S-P-R-E-Y.
I did not, no.
What do you think is the investment required for you to get this off the ground? With the initial prototype or proof of concept, whatever you call it, then do the initial trial runs for manufacturing and getting into manufacturing, sales, etc. What do you think is an investment required?
I haven't done much research on the exact manufacturing process, but based off of the cost of the individual materials, as I said, so for one insert it would cost approximately $12 to $15. The manufacturing to get it started, I would need at least $10K for sourcing someplace to manufacture, sourcing employees, getting the materials, and just starting the business itself. I would need at least an investment of $10,000.
Assuming that you're able to build this and have a prototype ready, where do you plan to test this? The university with your student population? Or?
Yes, so I would initially start locally, so in my ISD, because this is where I've seen the most issues, people who face the same issues as me. And then as I improve the product, as I make it more useful for maybe even adults or people who travel, as I improve the product, I could expand my reach nationally, globally, just expand the market as I go.
Well, I'm talking more about testing.
Testing?
Your hypothesis works.
Okay,
You haven't had the product yet, you haven't tested it.
Okay.
So how you have to test it?
Yeah.
If it works.
So if I create a prototype, I would initially test it with the people at my school or where I have seen the most issue.
Thank you.
What are your thoughts in terms of the overall sales? What kind of channels will you be targeting for your sales?
Could you repeat the question, please?
What kind of channels will you be targeting for your sales? Is it going to be mostly online sales, or will you have in-stores sales or college?
Okay, so I would, since my primary market is students who are still in the age of spinal development, like students, teenagers, I would primarily market it online. Social media has a wide reach to this specific market, right? So I would target it online, and I would have people develop or demonstrating how the product works on social media apps such as Instagram or TikTok. And if necessary, I would also go in person to schools or colleges to demonstrate how my product works.
Okay. This is just a comment, Shan. If you really plan to pursue this idea, there's a lot of young people in your age group who go to a particular group. It's one of the largest, not the largest non-profit in the US. They're called Boy Scouts of America. Now they're called Scouts of America. Because girls and boys can be part of it. I have been part of hikings, and there's a couple of other scoutmasters here. We've all done enough hiking and camping, and we've done 10-day filmed camps and so on. You carry big backpacks. And there's a scout store. And the scout store is open to ideas from the public, from students, from whoever we need. If you can bring a quality product, and they will distribute through their scout stores across the nation. And when scout boys carry something, the word goes around. Because if it's a cool product, the boys buy it. And who buys it from? The parents. So the parent is the buyer. He spends the money, or she spends the money, right? So when you think of reaching out through social media or whatnot, who holds the purse strings? The parent. So you might want to think about messaging in such a way in your marketing if you would like to do something like that.
Thank you, judges. Appreciate it. Thank you, Nikita. I'm going to invite the next participant from high school, Sunidhi Verghese.
ALS is a neurodegenerative disease. Motor neurons degenerate. The brain sends signals, but the muscles, they stop responding. So patients end up losing voluntary movement. This condition isn't just about movement. It shows a loss of connection. My name is Sunidhi Verghese, and this is Rebuild Movement, an adaptive ALS glove. There are current systems, such as ALS gloves, that attempt to restore movement. However, they fail in 3 different ways. First, they require some level of muscle strength. Second, they don't adapt as the disease progresses in the patient. And third, it is often introduced too late to be effective. This is my adaptive assistant system. It detects minimal movement based off of signals. It predicts the intended amount of assistance required using past data, and it assists the movement dynamically over time. The tools I use go in 3 different stages. The input, which is detected by the sensors, showcase the grip strength and how fast the patient's hand is moving. Then the microcontroller reads these inputs and it runs logic and sends that to the motors. Then the motors give out the output required based off of the data collected. The best part of this system is that it identifies a decline or change in strength. So if the patient's condition gets worse, then it automatically increases the amount of assistance required for the patient. Accessibility is one of the major limitations with current systems. Typically, these gloves can cost over $1,000 to make. However, Cornell University has discussed how FPC tactile gloves can be made in under $130. My glove uses similar materials, which indicates its potential for success. With all products, there are limitations to consider. This is just simply a prototype, and in order for it to be considered a true medical device, it would require FDA approval to ensure safety. However, this also allows us to go beyond the system. When you are under the FDA approval, you are often under a controlled system. But now, if you are going into the FDA approval and scaling up, you can start to engage in more testing, which can allow for better modification. The impact that my device goes beyond movement. By allowing patients to restore some level of independence, they can have a better chance of performing daily tasks, and this reduces their reliance on caregivers. The significance of this is that it improves their mental health and reduces the amount of stress they have. Stress is often seen as increasing the risk of chronic conditions. So by reducing this, it not only helps with their mental health, but their long-term physical health as well. That is all for my presentation. Thank you.
So, just saw a glove flash through it. You're intending to show it to us, or just an accident?
Yeah, that was just an accident. If you do want to see the glove, I'll be more than happy to
Please
show.
do. I would like to see that.
Yeah, this is just the glove. If you want, you can take a look. One of the biggest things about this glove is that I use commercially available tools in comparison to typical gloves that are often more specialized or more available towards medical institutions rather than the general public.
So I'm assuming you're using some kind of neural network in here to be able to decipher the data that is coming from these sensors.
Really with the sensors, I can actually go more in depth with this. So the flex sensors, what it does is it goes on your finger, and when there's some resistance put into it, there's a voltage charge, and that voltage charge indicates, it kind of measures how much strength the patient has. And then this goes into the microcontroller, and the microcontroller is the one that's actually processing that data. So it's similar to a coding program, and then there's with the microcontroller, it has even logic. So it has timestamps, so it will track the amount of strength over a period of time, and then it will calculate a threshold. And then let's say the patient's data starts to have some variability. So if that variability is less than the threshold, then it'll indicate, yeah.
I just don't want to take too much of your time. I'll follow it up with you offline. There are different ways of doing this, so I'll talk to you offline. Great concept. At the same time, you just have to see if you have a prototype that works, but you can use it on some patient.
I mean, obviously there's ethical issues with that because you can't just simply take an ALS patient from a random place. But you could still test this tool by even myself. You can kind of remake pretending to have a lack of strength. Yeah.
Good talk. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned you are going to manufacture this mostly out of chips and components that are available in the market, right? How do you differentiate yourself now? Competitor using the same things can manufacture something similar to this, right? So how do you differentiate yourself?
It's really just the adaptive system that's going to differentiate this because it'll be more specialized. One thing I've noticed with these gloves is that they're simply just trying to fix the movement aspect of itself. It's very textbook based. That's with most medical treatments. However, this will be more personalized, and we'll try to test this product with a large demographic. That's how we're going to differentiate between other competitors.
What triggered this idea? What did you
So I was looking through social media and I saw this guy named Darren Nakanihara, and he is a father and a former teacher, and one of the biggest things I noticed is even though he has lost the ability to eat by himself, even walk or even talk, he still spreads that positivity. Like I remember in one of his videos he used like a clicker to type all of his like posts, and I find that seeing those people that have that positivity and hope that their condition doesn't stop them from living life makes me want to help them and just live their life to the fullest.
Thank you. I remember you from last year. I see a pattern. You look at very serious problems and trying to find a solution, especially targeting the elderly or the disabled. So kudos for that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sunidhi, there was one more question. We had one more judge.
So it is a two-part question.
Okay.
So if at all you were to go through the FDA approval route, how much time do you think it really takes to kind of get that? That's question number one. And question number two, in terms of your sales strategy, how do you think you will get it to the masses?
Okay, so for the first part of that question, typically for FDA approval, I would say this would at least require 1 to 2 years just to ensure that safety, because one of the limitations that I actually considered in my research was over assistance with the finger, because that can obviously cause physical injury. So you want to make sure you can ensure that safety to prevent lawsuits or physical health issues. Can you repeat that second part again?
Yeah, so what will be your sales strategy and how do you get the required masses?
Well, with the rise of AI, I know a lot of people have been thinking about AI technology. I'll be marketing using that aspect. So by showing an adaptive model, this can kind of make people feel like, hey, this is a tool that I have utilized in my day-to-day life. So you can think of ChatGPT. It takes the input that you give, and then it kind of makes responses that are similar to past messages or chats that you've had.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We're moving on to the next participant. This is number 3, Tanmaya Lakshmi and Nandana Rajiv.
Hello, my name is Tanmaya Lakshmi and my name is Nandana Rajiv. And our product is called My Mental Space. It is a platform that allows users to talk about their emotions and thoughts freely. Before we get into it, let's talk about what My Mental Space is and what we're going to go through in this presentation. My Mental Space is a free website for people to just talk about how they're feeling, because not everyone wants to go and ask for help, and this is a peer support space where we offer that. Coming with free, it also has premium subscriptions on how well managed it is, and we have individual and group discussions, and we also provide resources for people who don't feel comfortable talking. And in the slides, we also show studies that support our ideas. So in order to get into it, we have to think about the why. The why is that many teenagers and adults experience stress, overstimulation, anxiety, and they can just bottle it up because they don't feel the need to ask for help, or they think they'll be fine as time goes on, and that's not true, because in the end it's just going to blow up. And so creating this website will allow people to just talk or journal. The how this website works. You can choose how to engage, like we discussed earlier a little bit, individual or group. So first when you join, you can choose if you want to have one-on-one conversations with people. How that works is you would be asked to fill out an interest form and what your goal is to coming to this website, what you're trying to get help with, and you can get matched up with someone who has similar goals with you, so you guys can talk it out and feel it. If it's a group, we have multiple categories for groups, like school stress, family stuff, anything they want to talk about, sports, anything, for group discussions as well. The goal is to get
to get used to the idea of getting help. Like I said earlier, not everyone feels comfortable asking for help, so this platform gets used to the idea of asking for help. Like it's the first step to going to get help. And it's also less intimidating for people because talking to people in person is so much more intimidating than just being online and anonymous. And it's also really flexible to talk about whenever you want. You don't have to schedule anything, you don't have to go anywhere. You can just talk about whatever you're feeling at that moment, get resources at that moment because of how flexible our website is.
And talking about peer support space is that it's either you can choose to be anonymous or you can have your name out there. And individual or group, one-on-one conversations can help better than group conversations, or group conversations can help better than one-on-one. And this also will help provide different perspectives on someone who has the same problem, and it allows you to realize these different solutions that you can do.
The features of our website it is anonymous. You can have the freedom of being anonymous because not everyone wants to know your name and your whole story. That doesn't need to be said. If you just want to talk about something, you don't always have to do that. Like we said, we offer group discussions per category. As part of our resources, we also have mood tracking, so you can track how you're feeling. So you can, maybe after weeks or months, you can come back and see how we progressed or how we've been doing. Same goes with journaling. You can journal and see how you've been feeling and reflect on it. Creative outlets include coloring activities, meditation techniques, journaling, listening to playlists, knitting, anything. We provide resources for all of that in our resource page. And explicitity levels, when you come in, as it is 13 plus adults and kids can go through this. So for 13-year-olds, we would have more like restrictions. We would use AI to monitor to make sure it's a safe environment for people and bullying and everything like that.
So why our website would work, it helps build community, it will reduce loneliness, it encourages emotional expression, and it's easy and free access because it's on the internet.
Studies that support this is
the CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. The main idea of CBT is that it's digital mental health tools that can actually work, and it's not just like in-person therapy. CBT, studies show that online mental health tools based on CBT can significantly reduce anxiety and depression.
Another case study that proves this is by James Pennybecker. In this case, participants were made to write about their feelings or experiences for a day, and as a result, it improved their mental health, even emotionally and physically. Psychologist James Pennybecker found that writing about your thoughts for just a few minutes a day can improve mental health and emotional health over time. Yes.
So, again, good presentation. Just a couple of questions.
Yes.
One is, why did you choose to use a website as opposed to an app?
Website is free access, and it's just so much more better for people to access it, and it can provide so much more.
Yeah, but CBT is a pretty common solution today out there. So one of the things today people have followed as a team, I don't know how you guys feel.
Yeah.
If, for example, somebody with an AI came in and put an AI bot to talk to a group of AI bots to talk to a bunch of teens, will it be received positively? I don't know.
The AI would just be monitoring how people would talk, so that to make sure that no one's getting bullied and everyone's being safe. And also, if someone is going through something serious, then that could be handled with more caution with AI to just manage everything. No AI will be actually talking to, like, it would just be managing the group.
Yeah, so there's no AI bot that will be popular with the teenagers. For example, today, lonely people are now calling in to an agent and kind of it's an AI stuff and talking conversation.
Yes.
That's not the one in this.
No. This is so the people who are the same age can relate, because people in school, I'm pretty sure everyone can relate what you're going through, college, stress, and like that.
Thank you.
How do you make money?
Like we said, we have premium subscriptions for this. We provide like the basic resources like coloring pages, but you can buy extra resources, and also there's premium versions of chat. Like we have limitations. So first, when you join, you can probably only have a group of 5 people. But if you get premium, you have access to talking to however many big groups you want, and making groups of your own, and just premium access to everything.
So, from a pricing standpoint, how are you going to price these users when they use your website?
Not too much. Something that's affordable for them, but also benefit what we're making. Because what we're making would be like coloring pages and like just small resources. Something that would be a reasonable price for them and also would benefit us.
It will be helpful to research more on it.
Yes.
Because if the child goes up and tells his parent or her parent, I need $10, $5, I'm going to subscribe to a website that is about something. She or he has to say what it is about.
Yes.
So the whole idea is for the child to have his own private space where he can share his emotional distress and angst and whatnot.
Yes.
How does he have that conversation with the parent? How do you envisage that? That's your user, that's your buyer. So
yes. We provide, it's also like about resources, and it's just like, I just need someone to talk to, and it's a safe environment. We have guidelines on how it's really managed. There's nothing, you can't talk about anything inappropriate, and it's like very well managed to make it feel like a safe environment for anyone to talk to, even parents, even, this is also for adults as well. Anyone can talk in this, and also resources, you can just say that I want resources, I feel this kind of way, like for me especially, like I feel anxiety whenever I talk about something, or like I want to talk about something, and if I had the resources, it would be so much more helpful. And if I had a premium access to all the resources, breathing techniques, anything, it would be easy to have that with you. So he could start, he or she could start a conversation on, hey, these resources would help me, and I think it's helping me. Or we can have samples for them and to see if there's helping them, to make sure what is right for our clients.
you might want to think about privacy because it's data, right?
Yes.
You're thinking about it.
Yes.
As part of the research, I would also urge you to look at models like protocol.
Yes.
Protocol with the PROC, PROTC, PROTOCLN.
Mm-hmm.
These are companies that have set up 1-800 numbers in college campuses, where if a child or a student has issues with stress, with being away from home, or could be bullying, whatnot, they pick up that number and call. There's a trained psychologist, clinical psychologist sitting in places like Portland and whatnot, who take these calls and ensure they create a CRM out of that, where all the data about that student goes in there. But that psychologist's job is to make sure he or she gives customized, tailored messages to that student. Might be repeatedly called one. But that's something which is taking a lot more traction in the market. While the senior citizens, like Robbie was saying, there are agents now developed for that. So you might want to do some more research on this. But what you're sitting on is a genuine problem. It is a serious problem. There are mental health issues stemming, and it's increasingly prevalent among school students and of course college students. So good luck to your journey.
How do you plan to curate the content that comes onto the website?
Like messages?
Yeah.
We have AI filters, or AI agents, or whatever you want to call it.
So it will be totally AI based.
It would be monitored by AI, yes. To make sure that it's appropriate, giving it guidelines and everything. And guidelines would be given to the person who would join this website as well.
And you will have your own content put into the website as well, right?
Yes.
And where do you source the content from?
We would make the content, we would create breathing techniques or coloring pages.
Question, have you built a little sample website?
We have. It's really a demo, but we do have it. Is it on?
No, I don't need to say. Just saying, did you test it on your friends?
Yeah. it was an AI messaging because we don't know how
You
to
know how
test it.
Facebook started, right?
Yeah.
Facebook was something like this. Where among friends, they tested it out and then it took off afterwards.
Yes.
So, good luck.
Thank you.
Meantime, Ria, Ototengal and Sanvi Vipin, get ready for your presentation.
Hi, you might be wondering why we're wearing aprons today. That's because today we're not just here as presenters, but we're here to represent the millions of working parents across the country who come back home after a long, tiring day asking the same question. The hardest question of the day: what's for dinner?
Hi, my name is Ria.
Hi, my name is Sanvi, and today we're proposing the Smart Dinner Decision Engine app, which is an app to help you turn the hardest question of the day to the easiest.
So why does making dinner feel like such a challenge? Well, even when parents try to plan ahead, they can still feel so overwhelmed. They have to worry about things like what they already have in their fridge, the picky eaters in their families, and dietary needs and restrictions. They also have to worry about how much time they actually have to prepare meals and making sure that food isn't going to waste. So to prove that this is a real problem, we conducted a survey and surveyed real parents that we know. And we found out that 80% of the surveyed parents struggle to decide what to make for dinner a few times a week or even every day. We also asked them some of the core problems that they face, and they range from deciding what to make, not having enough time to make it, and meeting the dietary needs and restrictions of their families. We also asked them if an app like ours would be useful in their daily lives, and 68% of the respondents said that a smart automated meal planning app would be highly useful to them. Every day, millions of parents face the same stressful question: what's for dinner?
Meet the Smart Dinner Decision Engine app. Our solution is a smart app that takes the stress out of the simple question in your everyday life: what's for dinner? What makes our app so unique is that it combines all these powerful features into one app. So how does our app actually work? Well, first, our app starts by using AI to understand every ingredient you have in your kitchen by you simply just scanning them. Then it uses an ingredient matching algorithm to connect this data to create recipes in real time. It also includes expiration date visibility. This means that this app tracks every ingredient you have in your kitchen to make sure that it prioritizes the ingredients that are about to expire first. This reduces food waste in your kitchen because it makes sure that every ingredient in your kitchen is used and used at the right time. But what about time commitment? We're aware that all of our users may have different amounts of time to make their meals, so our app has a special feature where our users can select the amount of time that they have to make their meal, and our app will customize your meal recommendations based on how much your time range is. Whether you have less than 20 minutes on a busy rush day, or more than an hour on a stress-free weekend, our app makes sure every meal fits in your schedule. And we know that every family eats different, and that's exactly the point. Our app customizes our meal suggestions based on your preferences, dietary restrictions, and even if you're a picky eater, our app uses AI to learn what meals you love or tend to avoid over time. We make sure that every meal feels less like a guess and more like the right choice. So what makes us so different from other apps? Well, most apps solve part of the problem, but not the entire thing. Recipe apps can give you meal ideas, and meal planner apps can organize your week, but you still end up buying extra ingredients and just wasting food for no reason. Overall, these apps don't really work well together. They're separate systems. Even with all these tools, the core problem is still there: the stress of deciding what to make for your meals.
So who is our target audience? In the US, there's about 130 million households. Out of those, 60% are dual income with kids. And out of our survey, 40% rated a 5 or very useful for our app, which leaves us with a target market of about 30 million families. This shows that this isn't a small problem. So how do we profit from this business? Out of the 30 million of the target market, assuming that eventually 1% will download, and with our pricing of $1.99 per month, After a 1-month free trial, we're left with a yearly revenue of $7.1 million.
So at the end of the day, this isn't just about preparing meals, it's about giving people their time back.
It's about turning something that's so overwhelming into something very simple.
From what's for dinner to dinner's ready.
Turning the hardest question of the day into the easiest. Thank you.
So how do you get those 300,000 users to?
So this is like over the course of time. So obviously when we first launch our app, we won't get this many people, but we're hoping that over time, through connections, this app will spread, and as it helps more parents, more people will use it.
Have you thought about using social media itself to kind of do that sales strategy? Like pay Facebook, Instagram to kind of reach an audience, dual working parents who has potential to buy. Have you thought about it?
Yeah, we want to, when we start building our app, we want to launch it onto all social media platforms, especially Instagram and Facebook, because that's mainly where our target user market, dual working parents, they mainly use Instagram and Facebook. So, but yeah, we're going to launch it on all social media apps.
Maybe a nitpicky question. How do you get those ingredients or inventory details into the app? I didn't quite catch that part of it.
So when you get the app, when you download the app, you can scan all your ingredients that you want, that you have in your kitchen. So you have to scan it. You just have to scan it, and then the app will scan the nutrition label and stuff, and then the app will find its expiration date.
So every day I have to do that, or how frequent is it?
So about every time you go grocery shopping. So for example, produce, you can just use the AI scanner and it will scan it and add that to the app. But if it's more specific food, you can also scan the barcode of the app, so then everything is listed in there.
Again, this is a real problem that people face, making fresh meals. So your competition that you looked at was a recipe apps and things like that, but there are a whole class of pre-made meals out there, oven makers like Tovala. They have the pre-packaged one, they send it to you, and you heat it up in the oven, and you use it kind of stuff. It's very easy to use. So those kind of things are going to also compete with your market, 300K people.
Yeah, it definitely is competition, but it's different because premium meals, a lot of people don't have they want more fresh meals, home cooked meals. Premium meals are just you buy it, you put it in your refrigerator, and you heat it up. It's not going to taste the same as when you home cooked meals, and everyone's not going to want to eat it.
Did you include that in your survey? Do people prefer fresh, from scratch meal? Because that's a very good data point, because it's a lot of work. The other one is 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It's done.
Yeah. We also included that a lot of parents have the want to make food for their kids, but they just don't have that time and the energy to do that.
In terms of the app, have you started building something, at least even a wireframe of the app? Has there been any effort towards that?
No, we haven't started this for now, but this is definitely something that we're looking for. We need more sample users to start it with and see if it and we can get a group of users to see if this app actually launches.
So I'll put myself in the spot here. As a father of 2 children and a husband, I have never successfully created a meal of my own that my family would eat. The only thing I've created is upma, and nobody wants it. And I'm sincerely hoping that I slow down in life and learn the art of quick cooking healthy meals for my family. It is my dream. I want to do it. I want to shut down everything and just learn how to cook so that I can earn respect at home. And so will many, many husbands want to do this. What is that demographic you're really targeting? Who's that buyer? Are you starting with one buyer persona and say, I'll target him, and I do all my marketing around that person? It could be a busy, like Ranjit was saying, it could be a dual income family, they're out there working 9 to 5, come back home exhausted. or is it students? Is there something you are talking about research? That's one. And second part is, what are those specific companies you researched who came out successful in this space and actually making money?
Yeah, so for our target market, we're working towards working parents, obviously, and that's why our time that you're able to select how much time you have, that's why that feature is so necessary. Because for a lot of working parents or dads who may not want to spend as much time in the kitchen, you can choose that and it'll give you simple recipes based on how much time you have. And then for the apps that we researched, I'm not able to recall the specific names, but again, most of these apps, they're either higher priced, and for that price, you're not getting all the features that our app provides. It's just recipes or organizing your week. But our app kind of puts that all together and makes them more realistic for a good price.
By any chance you ran into an app called MyFitnessPal?
Yeah, we might have that.
Okay, do they have meal prep and recipes?
Yeah, they have the meal prep, but they don't have the ingredients that you have.
Okay.
As soon as you have the app ready, let me know. Because Friday evenings, that is the biggest workout I have. After a very busy 5-day week, Friday evening I can cook, and this is the first cup I have. So,
Have you targeted the Indian population with your app?
Yeah, we're going to start off.
Yeah.
No, you better. That's a valid question because MyFitnessPal, if I type in any Indian ingredient or food item, it's already there. They're fast approaching all markets worldwide. It's an American product, but they have. I can even check if I ate 7 idlis and sambar, how much of protein I consume. I can check how many calories will I have if I consume idiyappam. It goes on and on. MyFitness app, sitting right here, MyFitnessPal. So that market is being targeted. The Indian subcontinent is a hot market for meal planners. Just as a
Thank you, thank you. Do you have any more questions?
Thank you, judges. Thank you, Ria and Sandy. One good news to share, lunch is here. But we are one more presentation away from lunch. And so the last high school presentation for today is Ishita Menon.
Hi everyone, I'm Ishita Menon, a sophomore at Prosper High School, and this is Unhidden, a proactive app that makes every dollar visible. Let's start by meeting Sarah. Sarah is hardworking, she works full-time, she uses subscriptions daily, and she genuinely believes that she's good with money. She's not careless, she's just in the dark. But she's not alone. Sarah thinks that she spends $89 a month on subscriptions. The reality? $200. More than double the expectations, and prices have already gone up 2 times this year without her noticing. That's not a budgeting failure, it's a visibility failure. The money goes to various platforms: Netflix, Spotify, the gym, and many more apps. That's $116 and growing. 2 of those services recently raised their prices, and guess what? Sarah didn't catch either one. This happens because subscriptions are designed to be invisible. Auto renewals are silent. Price increases are buried. The root problem isn't the cost, it's the absence of transparency. Users simply cannot control what they fail to see. It matters because the average human spends around $219 on subscriptions, but estimates only $86, a 2.5 times perception gap. Millennials aged 35 to 44 are the highest spending group. The 45 plus demographic is the most vulnerable, with fewer subscriptions, but far less likely to ever audit them. Across every age group, however, nobody is watching. Unhidden is the app built to solve exactly this. It does 3 things proactively. First, it tracks prices. No missed emails, no surprises. We also alert users before prices raise, so you decide, not your bank statement. And finally, we suggest cheaper alternatives, ones that are personalized and accessible to you. It works by automatically syncing your bank and email, surfacing every subscription that you hold, even the forgotten ones. Market trends are monitored in real time. Everything lives on one clean dashboard, building on existing banking APIs, so there's no friction to get started. First, True Cost shows you the full picture. That $12 a month subscription is $144 a year, and $720 over 5 years. When users see the real cost, they make different decisions. The second feature is that Unhidden tracks prices. Most apps tell you after the price increases, but Unhidden tells you before. Our AI monitors market signals and flags upcoming changes in the market. Netflix raising prices in May of 2026? Well, guess what? Unhidden tells you in April, giving you time to decide, downgrade, or switch. Moving on, Unhidden works and watches the stack. The average person holds 5 to 10 subscriptions. Even at $50 a month, that's $600 a year. Gone before you can even think about it. Unhidden keeps that number front and center. Finally, Unhidden suggests it spots when waste or an upcoming price hike is coming, giving you better options right then, right there. Swap Spotify for YouTube Music and save $11. Switch gyms, save $20. It's personalized to your actual usage. Unhidden is made for millennials aged 25 to 44, juggling too many services to track, and the 45 plus age gap, who are quietly losing money to subscriptions they forgot that they even own. But like any product, there is competition. Existing trackers, like Subtract, are reactive. They show you what has already happened. Unhidden is proactive. It shows you the long-term cost, usage tracking, price prediction, smart suggestions, all before you even have to ask. The impact is smarter financial decisions, less unnecessary spending, and a future where no one ever overpays for a service. Let's go back to Sarah. Before Unhidden, she was spending $200. And guess what? After Unhidden, she's spending $100 with full visibility. So that is Unhidden, making every dollar visible. Thank you.
Real world problem. Thank you for bringing it up and looking for a solution. But one of the things I didn't see in your competition was Rocket Money. An app called Rocket Money. I am a user of that one. It does very similar stuff that you're doing. It actually tells me what subscriptions are active, and they even go and cancel them for me, kind of stuff. So I think this idea is great starting out, but we need to go further to get traction with apps like that in the market out there. Okay, so that's one input I would give you to it. It's a great problem to solve. Yeah.
Thank you.
Look at Rocket Money.
Actually, I did research Rocket Money just a little, and I found that a lot of the reviews say that they don't like the fact that it cancels subscriptions automatically.
No, there is an option not to do that. I am in control of what I need to cancel. They actually asked me.
Thank you.
I didn't quite catch the slide where you mentioned how do you make money? Is it a monthly subscription?
So the subscription plan is a freemium model, as Spotify and many other apps use. The free model uses where you can add up to 5 subscriptions, and it gives you the monthly and yearly cost. The premium model is around $5.99 a month, and it offers you unlimited subscriptions, and it gives you over multiple years projections. So you can see how it affects your bank account in 5 years or 10 years in the future.
You just made me realize I do need to check on what I'm subscribing to. Yeah. And there is one app called Credit Karma. A lot of people use that. It used to be in Wales, they acquired it and all that. But it just gives you a list of different subscriptions and whatnot. but never gives you alerts and notifications, comparisons, all that. What caused you to think about this as a problem that I can possibly solve and make it a business offer?
So the funny story behind why I chose this idea is because a few weeks ago, my dad came up to me and he asked, why am I getting Canva billings on my bank account? And I've never purchased Canva. I use my school account, which gives me it for free. So then we call my mom and she says, oh, I accidentally took the 7-day free trial and it kept going. So I realized that in the current community, people simply don't have time to actually look through their emails and realize, oh, this subscription has decided to actually take money out of my bank account, which is a big problem because $10 a month doesn't seem like a lot, but it builds up slowly and that really affects you.
Have you already created a wireframe for the app?
I haven't had the resources or time actually yet to create the actual app, but in the future I do want to actually program everything and get this through because this is a really pressing issue and I know that a lot of families especially tie into this.
If you had the time, how much money do you need?
Well, the programming aspect of it, we wouldn't need too much money because I have a lot of programmers and friends that I'm close to, and I have my father who can always help me with anything that I need. But I would say around $1,000 to $2,000 I need for sure to get surveys out and to increase marketing and overall like increase the exposure that this app needs to succeed.
Thank you, judges. Thank you. We're moving into the second category, which is UTD. So these are enrolled students in UTD. Professor Ramesh talked about some of these folks. I have 3 presentations. So we'll start with the order number 6, Aditi Tiwari.
Okay, hi, my name is Aditi and I'll be introducing Nexana. So, like many of the students in this auditorium, we've all had that phase in life where we've gone to go get our first opportunity, first job, first industry experience, but we never get it. It doesn't go according to plan, right? So out of 100% of students today, 56% of students do not get an opportunity. 80% of the students say they never hear any feedback, leading to application black holes. And then 70% of those students say that because they have low industry experience, it becomes a barrier when they go into the industry looking for opportunities. What we can see from these numbers is today's hiring platforms were not built for students. They're built for people with tons of experiences, with evaluated resumes. Not only that, because of these resumes, it becomes a resume-only based matching system, disregarding applicants' personalities, their motivation into the career, what they want to do. And it also becomes a search-heavy process with filters, trying to figure out what you want to do, remote jobs, jobs in Los Angeles. You have to search all that. So we built Nexana, a swipe-based platform that instantly matches students with real opportunities where you are more than your resume. How it works is we ask applicants, students, and organizations to build their profile. What this helps with is they build their profile based off of what they want in their career, their goals, before they get to see any of the applicants, any of the job descriptions, ensuring that the profile is built off of their motivation and what they want to do within the next 5 years of their career. From here, our AI-based platform releases discovery opportunities where you don't have to sit and search for these opportunities. They come to you based off of how you build your profile, whether it be a student or an organization. When students and organizations match with each other, it generates a mutual match, which allows you for direct connections, connecting to each other. Nobody wants to reply to an email at 5 p.m. on Friday, but everybody's willing to reply to an email or to a message at 5 p.m. that same day. So it allows you to direct message each other within the app. What you can see here is the platform on what students see when they open the app. They get to see what the organization is, what they're doing, and then they can swipe left or right whether they want to match with the organization. It allows personal feed, and the mutual matching shows students that, okay, they are doing something right, so they're getting some type of feedback when an organization matches with them. And the same thing goes for organizations. What you can see here is they can see who the student is, what they're doing, prompts to show what they are different, how they're different than other applicants and different from other resumes, right? This allows for organizations to see pre-qualified candidates, evaluate beyond the resume, how do they fit into the goals of that company, and then it also allows for mutual matching. Essentially, that gets rid of half the time you guys spend looking through resumes, looking through different websites on who you want. So, hiring platforms today are very intensive on resumes, they're very intensive on filters, as well as manual searching. Nexina takes away that. Our AI-based personality-driven matching, mutual interest connections, requires engagement between both organizations and students. How this helps organizations is it has faster hiring rates, better alignment within the company's goals, as well as higher retention rates. Our target market, so we have different target markets depending on the different tiers of operations that we're at. Right now, our primary users are high school college students, and then our organizations are hiring partners, startups, small-scale businesses, and we're not just based for business students, but we're also expanding the industry to medical students, art students, humanities. And then the other thing that we looked at is our competitive market. So our competitive market makes up to 14 to 18% of the entire AI recruitment type market. So what you can see from here is we're not just approaching a portion of that percentage, we're approaching the entire percentage. With our two-sided matching, the 80% that never hear back, at least they're getting some type of feedback, right? And then with zero resumes, the 56% that have little to no industry experience, at least they're allowed to go ahead and tell people that, okay, this is what makes me different. Because we believe that the resume really highlights what you haven't done, versus through us, you get to show how you are and what you're going to do in the future. So with that, I leave the floor to questions. We also ask that if you are interested in the app, please go ahead and sign up. We have a landing page right now with students and applicants on there. So as it grows, we'll eventually also launch the app. Thank you.
How is your app different compared to AppSheet, which is mainly used by the college students?
Yes. So as a business and medical student, one of the biggest issues that comes with this is you don't understand how to network. A lot of medical students go into the industry, wanting to shadow doctors, they don't understand how to do that. So if you download the app and you look at it, we have a different section on the app that tells these students that this is what you should do, how to build a resume, what an elevator pitch is. And then when you swipe on an organization, you have the opportunity to send a message to them. That message is essentially your elevator pitch to that organization as to why you versus somebody else. So that kind of makes us different. When we look at our competitive market, a lot of applications also do something similar, but they're not geared towards students on helping students understand what to do, what to not to do, right? So that's what makes us different compared to other applications out there.
So how do you make money?
So that again goes back to different tiers of operations. Right now, we are in tier 1, right? We have the whole prototype done, about to launch. We are hoping to gain organizations that are within DFW right now and partner with them, giving them monthly access, so $20 per month. And what that does is when the organization swipes on an applicant, that organization becomes the top priority for the applicant. And the same thing goes on the applicant side. With that, we can get the numbers, we get to see them in real time in front of us, versus if we were to just go to Amazon, for example. That's not something valuable for us because we can't see it happening in real time. We can't go to them and ask them. It would take months. Versus if we start small, we can at least go to them and tell them, okay, this is what we're doing, this is what's not working, fix the app, take that number, and then go to the next tier of operations. So it's a monthly subscription basis, but it also depends on different tiers of operations.
So both the employer and the employee, potential employee, both pay monthly subscription
Yes.
to these two applications.
Did you also mention about shadowing opportunities for medical schools?
Yes. So we have volunteering opportunities as well. We have paid internships as well as unpaid internships, any opportunity that you could think of, we're putting into the app. Because again, a lot of people go into the industry wanting to do one type of job, but then they come out thinking that, okay, that was probably not the route for me. So we have everything on there.
So you've done enough research on beyond handshake. There's enough players out there. What were your findings from that? What gave you the reason that says, I have IP that truly differentiates everything else? What is that differentiator?
Yeah, so what differentiated us was when you go into LinkedIn, Glassdoor, all the platforms, even Indeed, I know they have a messaging system, but that messaging system goes into your email, right? You get an email first that this person messaged you, and then you have to go to the app. What happens in that is myself, like I was in the job market for 6 months trying to find a job, forgot where I applied, right? A lot of emails, a lot of places, having to jump between LinkedIn, onto applications, and then go to different websites, try to figure out where I applied to. And then people will call you saying that, hey, you applied to this job, can we take a phone interview, right? I had a situation where somebody called me and I completely forgot what the job description was. What we do here that differentiates us is we put it on one place. You don't have to jump between LinkedIn, Indeed, your emails, try to figure out where you're going. You get to see it in one place within that messaging portal to see where and who you apply to, and you can click on that person's profile, whether it be an applicant or organization, to know what they do. Make yourself better for that area.
Do you think the dating apps guys can come down to your market and...
Yeah, we actually use the matching system from dating apps. With a newer generation, Gen Z, and also Gen Alpha coming in, we prefer messaging over emails. And through the swiping-based system, you're also you're saving a lot of time that you're sitting filling out applications, each question on application, versus here you just apply and applies for you by just swiping.
So that might give you some idea of pricing, how they price for stickiness.
What is your strategy to reach out to these potential companies who might sign on to your platform? How do you kind of entice them to come onto your platform?
Yeah, so the strategy here is, again, different tiers. With tier 1, what we're doing is we actually have a current contract going with clubs on campus. What we'll do is we'll talk to the clubs, and the clubs have opportunities for students that they can go and be a part of, right? So we'll ask the club to post the opportunity on our website, and through the landing page, we have multiple students that are willing to join the app and swipe on these opportunities. So what we'll do is, because it's on campus and these students are closer to us, we can go to them and ask them directly what worked, what didn't work, right? From there, we'll take those numbers, fix the app, put it into a presentation, and then go to the next level. Whether it's, so for right now, let's say startups is just in Plano, right? We can go to the next level and take it to Plano, Richardson, Frisco, Prosper area, and then expand from there. Giving us numbers from smaller numbers to bigger numbers, availability from people that we can go directly, and then go from there as we go up the tier of operations.
You mentioned you have a wireframe ready to go, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what is stopping you from taking the next step in terms of
launching?
Yeah, launching.
Yeah. So what is right now in the process that we're in is marketing, right? Like I mentioned, we have contracts going. We are in the process of getting this contract signed, getting organizations to let us know that this is what they want. Because we're going to organizations and we're asking them, hey, this is the app based off of what you guys are looking for. Let us find applicants for you through the app, right? We're in the marketing stage. So we're using this landing page to see how many people would actually be interested in this, right? And it wouldn't make sense for us to go ahead, do a big project, launch it, if only 50 people are interested in this out of the wide variety of marketed places we've been to. So we're wanting to go into a little bit more detail to understand who and how those people want the app to go, and then market it. We're also looking at currently going into an LLC, getting funding for that, trying to figure out how we're going to make it to where it's copyrighted.
Just curious how we came up with the name.
So I actually wanted to go with something bonus related. I'm very religious, so lotus represents new beginnings, growth. So I wanted to go with that. But then if you look at our logo, it's kind of like a shell. And the shell in Pujas also represents prosperity, growth. So we kind of went with that. And then Nexina is actually Latin, so next generation growth is what kind of comes up.
So there's a new PhD student, an alumni, you might find him on your database. One of his names, Anish Kente. He created a company in 2018, product called Resume Company. Pretty much the same concept. But you've come because you're using AI and all that. But if you have a chance, you might want to talk to him and ask what was his journey like and where did he go with what all he did. And any learnings that might help you as well.
Yeah, I'll get the name from you afterwards.
Sure.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you, Aditi. Thank you, judges. So, the next participant, they're already up on stage, Amar Bhootwala and Akshay Mapada.
Hi everyone, my name is Akshay.
My name is Amar.
And today we'll be talking about script reel at that we are studying. So currently in the entertainment industry, a lot of people are struggling with filmmakers and screenwriters to get into the industry because of a lack of representation, or they have a lack of just connections. And so currently, every year in the Writers Guild Association, 50,000 scripts are sent, but only 1% are actually seen by people who actually make decisions. And 85% of scripts that are actually made into movies, most of them don't have representation. Most filmmakers and screenwriters aren't able to actually afford these, making it very hard to actually get into the industry. And that is where our app comes in. So through Script Reel, we'll first be able to upload scripts and short films into the app, where you'll be able to connect with a bunch of people and get feedback on these apps, but then you'll also be able to connect with verified industry members and who can get you deals to get into films and just be able to have protection over your scripts, but also have more opportunities through an app. And we believe this is a very massive problem. There's over hundreds and thousands of screenwriters just alone in the US and indie filmmakers. And we believe that giving them opportunities to tell their stories will be able to make the entertainment industry better and just overall less stagnant.
So when we look at our competitors, we have competitors such as the Blacklist, Coverfly, and Stay 32. But as you can see, a lot of them have payment subscriptions that are required for all users, or they lack a lot of features that we are providing, such as short film hosting and peer community feedback. So we're definitely we provide a lot more features for a much lower price compared to our competitors that we currently have. Trust and safety is really important for us, so we provide time-stamped uploads for all of our users so they know that they have proof of authorship, watermarked reads for people that view your profile as well as your videos and your scripts. We verify all industry members, so agencies, studios, to make sure that there are no fake or scams. And we also control who can see you also have the right to control who can see your videos and what they can see. Here's a little bit of how our business model would work. For most creators, it would be completely free. You would have unlimited uploads, peer feedback, a public profile. Then you could update up to Creator Plus, which would be $9 a month. That would give you priority queue placement, advanced analytics. And then for most industry members, they would pay $99 a month for a more special plan that would give them a more verified batch. So whenever they view videos, users know that they're being viewed by industry, and they would have more advanced search and filters that they could use to find scripts and find short films of interest. So why does it matter? This matters because the next great American story is sitting in a document right now, and nobody will read it unless something changes. We democratize almost a $50 billion industry, which has historically been gated by nepotism and geography. We create a new talent discovery pipeline for studios and streamers, and we also generate a flywheel effect. Our app promotes more writers, which leads to more content, which overall expands the industry, which then leads to more writers. We have a pretty sustainable business revenue model through our industry subscriptions, featured placement ads, as well as option facilitation fees, meaning whenever a studio and a screenwriter come together to sell a script, we would take some fees from that option from the overall option. So here's a little bit of a mock demo of how it could potentially look like. This would be the home page where you have the option to either submit your own work or browse the reel. Then, when it comes to submitting your own work, you can either submit your own script or a short film, and then you have the option to put whatever title you want, how you want to format it. A lot of it is optional on exactly how you want to submit it. And then after that, you can also view current scripts and short films that are currently been published. You can see which ones are trending. You can also see which ones have been optioned. And then lastly, for industry, this would be included for the $99 a month subscription for only industry members. That they would get a lot more different features that would be more important for industry members, such as studios. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
I really love the flywheel idea that you are thinking about, but to get there, there should be a critical mass of these creators as well as the industry providers, right? So how do you get there?
How we get there? So basically, we have to really just get into the big amount of the film community. There's a big Dallas film community to start with, and going to all these events, they have weekly and monthly events. So just being around those people and getting them to the idea, just be there and just it's more exposure and expanding from there. But it's very big to just be in those communities. A lot of people are making short indie films all around Dallas, so having them being involved is something very important. I'm deeply in those communities, so it's very easy to just already to have this connection and be able to talk to them and just be able to tell them about this idea and make it easier for them.
And you're doing that South by Southwest this year?
Me?
Yeah?
I'm not, no.
Did you write a script?
Have I written a script?
Either of you? Or
I've written a script, yeah.
have you attempted to upload to WGA and pay the fee and get it there?
I'm sorry, what?
Have you applied to WGA and uploaded your script?
I haven't currently, no, but I've competed in competitions.
And I'm just asking because I want to know what was the experience you lived through. You've written a script, you're pitching script read, and you know enough writers there. But I'm keen to know when you're monetizing this, there must be some reason why you chose short films as well. Was there a reason for that?
Yeah, I think short films, like most indie filmmakers can't afford to actually make real longer films. So they're short films, they get ideas across in just shorter ways. And more time to write shorter scripts so they can produce more. And so you can produce those. And then, for example, there was a movie called Whiplash that was made in 2016. It was originally made into a short film, but then it got across on the record for success and they made it into an actual film. So maybe you can take a short film and make it into a bigger film.
Okay. So the competitor analysis that you did is very good. I wanted to know through your research if you found Whiplash-like stories. I'm glad you brought that example up. Whiplash-like stories, success stories that happen through those apps.
Yeah.
Where the big studios say, I like that piece of work, let's go.
Yeah, I think Blacklist definitely, like the competitor that we told you about, they have a long history of having a lot of Oscar-nominated films, but also in the past 10 years, they haven't been able to because a lot of people just stopped using it because their payment model is just incredibly crazy, honestly. So being able to give them a better alternative is very important. But yeah, there's definitely things like that.
Who are you pitching to right now? Script read. Did you pitch to anyone yet in the industry or?
No.
Okay. And you have a prototype or a website actually in place?
We have a demo that
we have a mock demo.
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with this market. Manoj is still a question. A lot of short films on YouTube. What is their success rate compared to what they were doing?
Yeah, I feel like for short films on YouTube, it's very hard for them to actually market them and just get it out there and gain a lot of exposure. I mean, if you're a smaller filmmaker, it's really hard to get your voice out there. So giving them a platform to actually do that is really important.
Where your target is?
Where are we targeting?
Those can also be a target market.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So just to be clear, yours would be like a marketplace where the scriptwriters or short filmmakers can come as users on one side and the industry folks to the other side.
Absolutely.
So it could be a global platform, right?
Yes.
Do you see yourself getting to Bollywood?
Any genres, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, what you're trying to do is something phenomenal, in my view, okay? Because there's so many people who are doing good stuff, but they don't know who to pitch to. There's no voice, there's no godfather, there's nobody to guide them, and WJ keeps adding up these thousands and thousands of scripts. Nobody touches them, nobody reads them, right? So if you're trying to do something, and those competitors, they're real players, they've had traction in the market. So I'm still trying to figure out what pulls a potential writer to say, I'm going script read versus one of your competitors.
Yeah, I think we also, we're the only one that allows you to have short films on the application, but also just like the alternative for cost, I think is what we're trying to get to. But then I feel like those apps don't really have a good community where you can interact with a bunch of people. So like when you go to like film clubs or you go to like film festivals, you get to interact with so many people, get feedback on your work, and other apps like that you don't get to at all. So this is, you don't have to go to these festivals, you don't have to travel 3 hours away, you can just do it on an app.
Okay, thanks.
And would there be a functionality where you will do a scoring for the
Yeah.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, so all the feedback you can get. So example, there's like an app called Letterboxd, and you can rate movies. So it's similar to that, where you can rate these scripts and also get feedback on from users, and the industry can rate them. So that would basically be how it works.
If all goes well, when do you think you can launch it live?
If all goes well and we're able to get the amount of funding that we need, maybe end of this year or beginning of next year, that this was something we were able to do.
What does that funding look like?
I think the funding is be able to properly code this and be able to like actually partner with someone who knows how to do it, and then also go to the areas and go to places that we can get exposure to meet current screenwriters and filmmakers who really need this. I think that's really important. Do you have a number?
I think around 10,000, because we would also advertise on current social media apps, because a lot of social media apps that have become popular, they originally advertised on former social media apps. So that's one way that we would really need more funding. A lot of the funding would go into marketing for sure, definitely.
Good.
Thank you, Omar. Thanks, Akshay. One last presentation to go, and Arnav, go play.
Hi, good morning guys. Thank you for this opportunity, Professor Ramesh, Mr. Sharan, for opening me up into Ment. So I'm grateful to be here. My name is Arnav, and I want to start with a personal experience. When my family, we go out for vacation, we're dropping our dogs off at a boarding facility. I myself am paranoid. I couldn't imagine how my mom or my dad is feeling, because they know what it is to have kids and they are much more paranoid than I am. And this is the average pet parent in America. It's a $130 billion industry with big gaps in the industry for software. Around 80% of these pet parents experience anxiety when they drop their kids off for professional care. So what am I proposing? I'm proposing TailTech. An operating system for modern day pet care, live updates, community, and a seamless booking experience to solve all of these problems in one unified way. I want to build transparency for this industry. There are 90 million dogs, 90 million households that have dogs in this current state, in this world. And with this kind of volume, we need to find a better solution for this. And this is my solution, and we're currently in the MVP phase. We've built the app, we're doing back testing, and we're starting to partner up with local businesses who require this. And with a few names in the DFW area, I'm looking to get into the bigger names in the DFW area, and almost all of them, like Camp Hound or Barkers or Wag Hotels, the big names in the US, they all have a similar software, but they're lacking a fundamental thing of unifying all of the experience together. They have cameras, maybe they have booking, but most of their customers are giving reviews of glitchy streams, something's wrong with the software, blackout windows, or even disconnected from the rest of their services. So let me show you what I am proposing. What do you think, what mine will look like? We want a clear UI, efficient UX for the MVP, for the minimum viable product. Starting off with a basic screen where users can navigate between different screens. They have a live chat with the staff to make sure they know what's happening when and where. The staff can immediately show them. They can book seamless bookings for when they want to. No hassle, no making phone calls, payment inside, and security how much ever we can. We want to use AWS's software of KVS, Kinesis Video Streaming, for the live camera, which sounds like a high investment, but really isn't. They only charge roughly $3 per customer, depending on the latency you want, the streaming quality you want, and the number of hours you're going to use. So this is one of the UIs. Then we also have a separate UI for the merchant experience. It's simple. They have their different dogs who are currently with them. What they need to do, what are the key responsibilities required for the dog, what food they have, because every dog is different. They have their own requirements, what medications they need, what particular time they need this. And also, they can see, they don't need to go into WhatsApp, take a picture, send a message saying this is what's happening. They can take the image and it immediately goes to them under what it's supposed to be, like activities, how they're feeling, if they've eaten their food, and all of that. So, now that we've seen the solution, we've seen the problem, I've seen the solution. What are we looking to do with this? What is the next steps? We're currently in phase 1. We're working towards the launch. We've built an MVP. We're partnering up with local businesses back in India where it's being launched to launch this into their businesses. We also have our own dog boarding where we're going to start this off with first. We have a loyal customer base who wants to start using this, who's happy with what features they're offering, and they are paranoid, they are stressed, and they seem happier with the solution we're providing them. And we want to move on to phase 2 in the next year, or within the next year. We want to have the whole platform. Right now I'm working personally on a website to onboard new customers with their individual name, business name, their registration and all of that. And for focusing on further than this, we will look into AI and automation because we really need to be able to penetrate into this market. We use AI to generate the report cards. If you have noticed in here, we can see AI can give you report cards there. Today with this, it can show you what the dog has been doing, how it's doing, and this is all generated with the videos that the AI has seen. With using that AI, they can generate report cards for us. So the main goal of this is to build an operating system for modern day pet care, for modern, paranoid, the average dog parent. And we want it to be live updates, a community and a booking platform in one unified experience. And because it's a B2B SaaS product, there is no extra cost for the human. They are getting a total peace of mind at no extra cost. Thank you, and please for some questions. Yeah, thank you.
What is the pricing model?
So if I sign up for a boarding of my pet, do I pay based on the number of days, and how do you price it?
So we are not the pet boarding that you will drop your dog into. We provide software for the business you're dropping.
I understand. How do you make money?
So we charge a flat 6% to start off from the business directly. The business pays us 6% per booking. We charge nothing from the owner of the pet.
So you say that you're the Uber for the pet care?
Yeah, I'm kind of a middleman to help them to make that experience better, to have them enjoy that vacation when they have professional care and they can actually see what's happening.
So I've noticed in one of your charts you said there are only 4 facilities in the DFW that has got cameras today. So is that your low-hanging fruit you can start targeting that?
Yeah, because the current places that do have the cameras also have something called WAG hotels and Camp Wow Wow. They are the few ones in the DFW area that offer this live camera upstairs. But the problem with them is all of their customers have very bad reviews with them. Their latency is not low enough. They don't have a good quality streaming, first of all. Their software is a big problem. They're very big glitches. All of these customers, I've spoken to customers, I've spoken to a few of these businesses in the DFW area. So we want to solve that problem by making the experience tailored to the parent and not to the business. The current market, there's a company called Ginger, Gingr, who's doing a similar thing. They're building software for dog businesses. But the problem, not the problem, they are doing well. They are one of the biggest ones in the US right now, and they are being used all over. But what we're trying to address is we want to tailor this to the parent. All the businesses right now are tailoring it towards the businesses. They want operations to get better. We want the parent experience to be better.
So, I'm glad you mentioned Ginger and Canpower and all that. And you're right in saying they all focus on the operators side of things, right? Did you validate this with pet owners and parents and ask how much are you willing to pay, and did you do a real survey, or what did you do as part of the research?
So I mainly spoke to a lot of the businesses and their customers. So back in Bangalore, where we are trying to launch this first, my parents are very much part of the dog community in the whole city. So I've spoken to around 100 to 150 pet parents in my apartment community. And that's where I built my problem statement from. They've all telling me they don't have visibility, they don't have real-time visibility. They trust the business, that's why they drop their dog off there, but they're not getting constant validation about their safety.
Okay. So the research was done in Bangalore?
Yes.
Talk to owners there?
Yes.
So where are you planning to launch this?
So we're planning to launch it there. So we have launched it there currently. But I'm looking into opportunities of launching it into the US market because it's a bigger market, more parents who spend more on their dogs compared to India.
Got it. So, of course, yes, it's a growing industry, no doubt you're in the right spot. Are you already tracking revenue?
No, not yet. We're still launching into our own business. We're just talking with partner facilities, but right now we're integrating this into our own dog boarding business.
How long have you been doing this?
The app or the business?
The business.
The business is 3 years now. 26 Jan was our third date.
So who else is with you?
As mom and dad. They've started this, and I'm trying to get into it because of my interest in entrepreneurship.
So you're providing the tech arm to the business?
Some of the tech and the business arm mainly. My mom is into the coding and the development, and dad and I are working on the business end. Because they have their own jobs, I have school, so we're all working on this part-time.
Okay. I get it.
When do you think any one of you will become full-time in this one?
I want to get full-time in this once I graduate. And they are kind of full-time right now. They are over-retired. They have their own businesses. So they spend most of their free time on this. They are working on the back end on the website. And now we're talking to more businesses more facilities in Bangalore to see if this will help them. Because we want to work on a white labeling project. We want to build the app, but then we want the company to configure it for their services. Because every company will have different ways of how they do booking, what services they offer is going to be different. So this app is going to be white labeled so that once they onboard with our service, they can make the app like in their name. So it can be called Campower, but it's actually our software being used.
So you've done your research, mostly market research in India.
Yes.
But in the US, have you found that what actually sells first? Is it the access to the camera, or is it something else? What did you find?
So in the US, with the ones I've spoken to around 4 or 5, and most of the customers want the camera access. But the problem is here, all of the US ones charge a very high premium price for this camera access. And if they offer a camera access, it's not a good quality. And if you want the good quality 24/7, you need to be in a suite. So only if you pay for the suite, which is like a huge room with a king size bed for your dog, they charge like $200 a night.
To me, that looks like a real opportunity for you to enter this market at a different price point.
That is what I'm researching towards right now.
So 60, 68 and 140? What is the number? The pricing for the camera access? Did I see some numbers like that? $140 per month?
No, that's what I said. So I did some research about AWS's video services, video options. So they have something called the Amazon Kinesis video screening, which is their latest one launched in 25N, and they use AI. I think so. I mean, I'm not the tech one, but they do use AI for the video referencing. So they charge per app. So we'll use the camera in the facility as the master, and each app on the parent's phone as the viewers. And each viewer is charged $3 a day, or depends on how many hours they use the camera. So if we don't record the footage and if we just focus on live screening, our costs are almost half. And this infrastructure cost is mainly around 5% of revenue if we're making maybe $20 per, $20 or $30 per booking from a business.
You heard of Wise, right? I'm sure you heard of Wise.
Yes.
Have you contemplated that as an option?
No, not yet. I haven't thought of it.
This was the last one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Listening to all this, I really thank God. I was not one of them when I did this 25, 30 years back. Other than the cheap alcohol and the cheap bars, I didn't know anything. And I couldn't even treat like this. So, hats off to all the participants. A lot of quality of things, really amazing. So, really appreciate all your time and effort behind this.
Thank you so much.
Good, judges are good. Thank you, Arnab. Nicely done. This audience would love to hear your journey, not just the good parts, but even the not so good parts. So I'm just going to bounce around and we'll take a few questions as the team is getting ready for the awards. Please share as much as you can, and we'll go from there. So, George, you're sitting right next to me, so I'm going to just start with you. Was there a moment in your career, in your journey, where maybe things didn't go as planned? And if you could share what that moment was and what you learned from that.
Sure. So, again, first of all, before I answer that question, this exercise was awesome. Thanks for getting this done. Some of these people, as Ranjit mentioned, if I were to rewind myself to high school time, I would have never been able to be this confident and present this. So kudos to all of you. So going back to your question, yes, there are several things that in the entrepreneurial journey, right? Anything you do, there's a thing you go through. You start with very high expectations, and then there's a trough of disillusionment, and then you finally come out of that. That happens in every business. In my case, at Globe Ranger, what happened was we got a lot of money, we got from Series A and all the stuff. Then that was in 2000, the first recession. Then I said, okay, we got enough money to go. Then 2008 happened. And President Obama came in and got the defense. My customers were all defense customers. And then he cut the defense budget. Sure enough, it became very difficult. So we had to conserve oxygen to survive through that journey. So that was eye-opening. I was, until then, just flying, right? So then learned very quickly that unexpected things can happen during, even a well-planned, well-executed plan. Things like that which you can't control. I can't call up the president and say, put money back in, right? So that's the thing that happened. It didn't happen the way I explained. I wanted it to happen. Yeah.
So sort of balance what your expectations are versus what you can plan for.
Yeah, you always need to think about pivoting very quickly. Like when that happened, what we did was immediately pivoted to the commercial market and then started making our money from there. But then we came back to the defense, but when the budget got restored, we didn't miss a beat. We came back. But the idea is to kind of conserve your oxygen. I'm sure people who are swimming and diving and doing physical exercise, I'm sure they do the same thing, conserve your oxygen kind of stuff, which is what you need to do.
Okay, conserve your oxygen. I'll take that. Ranjit, same question to you. Maybe a point in your journey which was hard and tough, and what did you learn from it?
As most of you know me, I've been a career consultant, been with large consulting organizations, but less known factors. In between around 7 years, I was an entrepreneur as well. So
mine was a slightly different journey compared to both George and Manoj. Rather than going into the tech space, I made a decision to acquire a business in the apparel wholesale operations. And I don't want to say that the business did not do well. We operated for 7 years. I didn't lose money, I made some money out of that. We could exit as well. But one thing we realized while we were running it is, unless the business has got a minimum threshold in terms of employee count and less reliance on you as an individual, what will happen is it will be too much of a strain on you, your family, your personal time, etc. And I did not realize that while I was getting into it. And over time, we had to make a decision to exit just because of that. I mean, as a family, those 7 years, we never had a trip together because my wife, who was running it, she was not confident enough to leave it with the employees and go somewhere. So that really took a toll. And my advice is, when you pick up something like that, there is a minimum threshold you need to look for, and the entire reliance and dependency should not be on you. Because a hard-done lesson in hard way.
So you sort of set the boundaries, separate your work and life. Makes sense. Makes sense. I don't know Ranjit very well. I'm getting to know him better. But the one time I called Ranjit to talk about this stuff, he said, well, that's the time I go for my exercise to the gym, and I respected that, especially because I don't go to the gym. So appreciate you saying that and striking that balance. Manoj, do you want to add anything on the same question as part of your journey, like one lesson learned?
I've learned many lessons, but so maybe because there's young people in the home, I'm one of those lucky guys who grew up in India with parents who were very understanding. They were very supportive, very tolerant, and I'm the only child, have all access to computer, a Walkman during the 80s, which most kids don't have those days, didn't have those days. But that was a nurturing environment. They gave me a very nurturing environment, no pressure. I had the courage to walk up and say, I messed up in my physics exam for the 3rd time, and there's no reaction. So that built my confidence. I realized I'm not as bad as maybe some teachers pointed out, not as bad as some of my relatives pointed out, or my cousins or their parents, because I was seen as the kid who grew up privileged, had access to a lot of resources, very forgiving, tolerant parents, so this kid is not going to make it, because they saw me as pampered and spoiled. But somewhere along the way, my dad's dream was to see his son build something of his own. And he said, if you can, you haven't grown up in Kerala, you have never lived there, but why don't you do something that gives back to Kerala? So that became my driving motor.
We'll take a minute. I will let Manoj take a minute. I'll ask the next question. We'll make it a little bit lighter this time. Maybe tell us, maybe without using names, Ranjit, I'll start with you. What is the worst pitch you've ever heard? Do you remember this? Feels like you should remember the worst pitch. And it wasn't, I know it wasn't at Idea Tank, it was somewhere else. But what was that worst pitch that you heard?
That's a difficult question, and thanks to Brody, I was part of the executive committee at Time Dallas Angels, which is DFW Eagles right now. And we have gone through definitely more than 200 companies, right? And we go through a very rigorous process in terms of selecting the 2 or 3 that we bring to the Angel Group. And in spite of doing all the diligence ourselves, go through all the documentation, spend time with the founders to coach them before they come in, there were some very miserable pitches, But I can't really remember names or companies who did that. But
No stories.
I mean, see,
Maybe after a couple of drinks.
yeah, definitely something will come back to me. But the point is, how much ever homework we do, we had a very rigorous process. Still, we felt embarrassed about some of the pictures that founders did to the angel group. So I had some bad experience.
George?
Yes, I was there for most of these pictures that went through the horrible experience of seeing some bad ones. But at the same time, one thing that really stood out for me was really the pitch. Somebody who aced the pitch very nicely and got into this next stage. We have something called deep dive. This CEO showed up at the meeting and couldn't answer a single question and by herself. Because she pitched, she actually did a very nice presentation in the first time, but the details were the one we were drilling her on the next time. So without any help, couldn't do it. So that was an eye-opening for me, because you can practice like the original song or whatever, and you practice one song and you sing it well, and then you don't have the fundamentals of the music, right? Kind of stuff. This was exactly the same case.
Getting the basics right.
Because you didn't have the data. You were there probably for that one.
And Sharon, if I can take a minute, and this is an advice to all of you who participated today. See, if at all you get serious about getting into the entrepreneurial journey and you have to go through this life cycle, you should try to understand the end-to-end life cycle. George actually brought up a very good point where this lady, she was brilliant. She had the first deck really tight, presented very well, but she didn't even know what to expect. There will be a due diligence and what to expect for the due diligence. That was a learning for us as well.
Yeah.
We put together some detailed framework because we were of the impression that anybody who comes onto this process, they will know what to go through. So it's extremely important. You have to know what that life cycle looks like, what you have to be prepared with. I mean, the initial pitch. Once you have the pitch, it gets into due diligence. Once the initial due diligence is done, then it goes to the commercials. So you should know the end-to-end life cycle so that you are ahead of the game and you are more prepared. Extremely important.
Manoj, did you want to add anything to what Ranjit said?
So, yeah, I recovered. Sorry, guys. I thought about my dad. There's been. I lost my dad recently, so it still hurts. Anyway, so I've heard many pitches over the years. But there's been many lousy pitches as well. Very badly researched pitches. But what gives me joy is, and I've done this with Scoutmasters, I've done, in the Boy Scouts of America, I've done it with the group. I was telling somebody in Fort Worth called DME, and then TYE, which these gentlemen are very familiar with. There's a lot of wrong things said or under-researched things said, but to me it's all okay. Because to me, each of those individuals, they have, like one boy told me in Boy Scouts of America, I asked him, what was that pitch all about? Why are you doing this? Are you really interested? And the boy said something which said, I'm doing this to become independent. I want to become independent in life. I want to do something on my own, earn my own money, and I want to feel good about myself. And I thought, then you're on the right track. Forget about who laughed at your pitch and whatever you did. But your journey has begun, so keep doing it. And there's many pitches I've heard over the years, and I deeply appreciate all of those people because they've started their journey to say, I want to do this. And then there's only a tiny percentage of that, and that's I've mentioned to some of these students here, only a tiny percentage actually decide to do something about it and build a product out of it, generate revenue out of it, stick with the idea. The idea may not be the best, but they know they can execute it or they will execute it. And they will pursue it with all passion. Nobody else's opinion matters there. So I moved a little away from your question, but I am wanting this for everyone who pitched today to understand. It's easy to do this part. The tough part is, do I believe in it enough to pursue and execute this? That's where the real journey begins. So if there's anyone here wanting to do this, turn this into something tangible, by all means, please do that. That's where the real journey begins. Again, I repeat that. Thank you.
Ranjit, you were adding something?
Brilliant point, okay? Ideas are dime a dozen. You will get hundreds of those. Execution matters. That is where success is.
I have also something I want to share with the young people. So I've always been a big proponent of this concept called Ikigai, which is a thing you can look at on the internet. This means the reason for your existence. It's got, imagine 4 circles. One says the world needs. The second one says somebody will pay you for it. The third one says you're good at it. And the fourth one says you love it. So if you get all these 4 circles to intersect, you get really the purpose and passion. So when a company comes to me for investment, I first ask, does the world need it? If somebody says, oh, I'm just doing it for fun, the world doesn't need it, it's not something that I would want to invest in. The second one is, will somebody pay you for it? Okay, that's the second question. If that answer comes up, yes. The third one is, are you the best person to do it? Are you good at it? And the fourth one is, do you love what you're doing? So these are very important things you need to consider when you're starting a venture. Don't do something for the sake of doing a venture.
Thank you. We're almost ready. Maybe 2 more questions, and then I'll let you off the hook here. I want all these kids who have been bold today and they did their pitches, some maybe for the first time, I want them to come back next year and be better. Can you, if there's one piece of advice around the pitch, not so much the idea or how to execute it, but just around the pitch and the delivery, if there's one thing that you can share with these kids, these students, which will make it effective and engaging, what would that be?
Can I take this?
Yes, please.
You've done your basic research, that's all fine. Now comes the real research, and that involves identifying and talking to the user you want to sell to. If you've done that and you demonstrate that knowledge that you gain from talking, from doing, and it reflects in your pitch, that gains more respect than saying I googled it up or I talked to somebody and I talked to my neighbor and all of that. No. Do real, serious understanding. I mean, they put the effort to do real research, and that means you go out and talk to the people. You have to go find a way to talk to those people who are the potential buyers. You also need to see if you can seriously put together a plan. Doesn't matter if it's flawed. My goal is to make this a company that will have 12 paying customers in the next 12 months. What do I do for them? Where do I find them? And trust me, it is not going to be an easy journey. It won't be. It will never be. This is business, right? But that's where you got to say, the school of hard knocks, I'm willing to go through it. Everything else is easy. This is easy. Trust me, this is easy. But go beyond it. Do that research, talk to the buyers, get data, collect a lot of good, knowledgeable, practical insights and say, I talked, I did it, I spent money on this, I traveled to meet somebody. Give us those inputs. That's so enticing because that means you've gone furthermore, much more than the standard pitch.
Thank you, Manoj. Ranjit, you want to add something?
When across the board, if I were to think about an opportunity for improvement, I think we need to think a bit more deeper into the execution aspects. So I believe in terms of identifying the problem, doing the initial research, all of you have done a very good job. But when it came to the questions around execution, be it the initial prototype or a proof of concept and getting the initial trials done, professionalizing things, sales. So you need to think a little bit more about it and be more prepared because that is the next stage. I'm sure that you will go and pitch to many other forums. So try to build on top of what you did right now, get to the next stage of thinking as well as clarity around how you will execute it, and that is important, I would say.
George.
So we are in a very lucky position because we got to see them, some of them come back this year. So I can definitely say, in fact, I mentioned as one of them, that they are much different this year. A lot more confident, they're able to present well. And kudos to you guys who come back again this year. So one other thing I would suggest as an advice would be to get a mentor. Okay, so whoever you trust, open up and say, I want to improve. That if you find that mentor, it will improve your chances for pitching, your thinking about your venture, all those things. I have had mentors, I have mentored people, but this is something that we need to get as young as you can get. You start very early.
Thank you, George.
There could be people within Ment, like Raju was telling me during the lunch break, who are willing to mentor, or could be someone else outside. Make use of that, and probably the Ment team. I know there's enough you all are doing already. Hats off to these guys for running a very professionally thought through, many little details. I know Sharon, I should say Sharon. Many little details, which you might take it as for granted. Those things help. And I was watching how the kind of information that came in through WhatsApp, the reminders, whatnot. Those little details matter. It really does matter. Those little details matter for all of us who want to build a business. Those little details do matter. Spelling mistakes do matter. Wrong competitor names do matter. Those things must be taken care of. Right? Just take care of it, because you're going to people and asking them to invest their faith and their trust and their money in you. You very well invest into that. All those little details.
Thank you, Manoj. Okay, maybe two more questions. I'm extending it.
I've recovered, I'm ready.
Okay, we'll change this a little bit and we'll come back to regular questions. You guys are familiar with a rapid fire round. George is ready. Okay, so I'll ask a question. It's a this or a that question, and I need immediate responses. You go first. We'll do this in order. Manoj, Ranjit, George. Manoj, Ranjit, George. Okay, Manoj is ready. Start.
Take it as for granted. Those things help. And I was watching how the kind of information that came in through WhatsApp, the reminders, whatnot. Those little details matter. It really does matter. Those little details matter for all of us who want to build a business. Those little details do matter. Spelling mistakes do matter. Wrong competitor names do matter. Those things must be taken care of. Right? Just take care of it, because you're going to people and asking them to invest their faith and their trust and their money in you. You very well invest into that. All those little details.
Thank you, Manoj. Okay, we're going to move into the award ceremony. We'll start with the participant certificate. So you all deserve a certificate for doing the job and being here and showing up on time. So I'll start with high school, and we'll do this in the order in which you presented. So as I call your names, come up this way and pick up your certificate from Rahul and Jyoti, and then please just line up here. We'll get you all lined up and then we'll take a nice picture. Okay, so I'll move away here. Nikita Ramesh. Suniti Varghese. Tanmaya Lakshmi and Nandana Rajiv. Riya Uttingal and Sanvi Griffin. And Ishita Mehndi. And let's fill that dead silence with some applause. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll just check with Bruno so he make sure he gets a nice picture. As he's doing that, do you notice that all of high school is just girls? Yep. Girl power. Yeah. Thank you, UGD boys, for showing up. Appreciate that. Suniti Varghese. Suniti also receives a certificate, a plaque, and a gift card. So Suniti is a very good example of second time is a charm. Keep coming back. Okay. So strong that we have 2 second place winners. So there was a tie for second place, so we have 2 second place winners. So we won't have a third prize, but we'll have 2 second place winners and obviously the champion. So the 2 second place winners, their names are on the screen. Ishita Menon, Rhea Patel, Savi Gobe. So again, reminding you, Ishita, what was the name of the app? Unhidden, killing the subscriptions. That was Ishita, and then Rhea and Savi presented the smart dinner decision engine. Yeah. Can we ask the judges to do the honors and give, George, you want to start? You can pick between UTD and high school. That's Ishita. They get a nice plaque as the second place winner. And then Sanvi Vipin and Rhea, joint second place winners, and they get a plaque also. Thank you.
On the vote of thanks, so I actually got Kunyapan. Kunyapan is a fake GPT agent. He's going to help me around, so let's see what Kunyapan can actually do for us. Hey Kunyapan, so I'm here to give the most boring activity between the door and the event. So do you want to guess what exactly it is?
Okay, quick check. You're about to give the vote of thanks, right?
That's right, but I'm actually absolutely clueless as to how to do it, so I might need your help.
Good, don't worry, I've got you. I'll just walk you through it.
Right, but where do I start?
Start with the participants. They showed up, they presented, they put their ideas out there. Wow, that's not easy. So yeah, definitely start with them.
Hey, thank you participants. So as Kunyapan said, coming here itself, it's the very first thing, right? You already all winners. The moment you all landed up here on the day with the presentation. So great job. One more time, kudos to you. So what's next? What's next?
Next, judges. They had the tough job. Listening, evaluating, probably rethinking their decisions halfway through. Make sure you thank them.
Yeah, definitely judges, great job. I mean, I know it's very difficult to do judging, like listening to different ideas. So thank you again. I mean, Ranjit, Brody and Manoj, I mean, absolutely. In fact, the good thing is I've met all 3 of you first time in an Idea Tag event very long ago. So it's always still great to see you guys show the same enthusiasm to come here. Thank you so much. Who's next?
Now, audience. They stayed, they listened, they reacted, which honestly makes a huge difference. So don't skip them.
Yeah, this is definitely a great crowd, right? I mean, we have like a lot of times we have participants, but very few times we see audiences. But audiences, thank you again, great job. And who's next?
All right. Next up, sponsors. Yes, very important, because ideas are great, but let's be honest, events don't run on ideas alone. Cash is still king.
Absolutely. So Prasad is not here. So Prasad, thank you very much. Bob's work has sponsored this idea tank. So thank you once again. Without sponsors like you, we'll be running out of cash to run these events. So thank you so much. I think that's pretty much it. Right?
All right. Next, venue and support. You'll want to mention UTD and the professor who helped make this space available, because without that, we'd all be standing outside somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. So Professor Ramesh is not here. Thank you, Professor Ramesh. I mean, we've been hunting him right from we planned this event. We've been working with a different professor in the past, but always UTD has been a great partner for Mint. So be it Math Olympiad, Idea Tank. So we love to continue to see this partnership. Thank you, UTD.
Oh, and don't forget the volunteers. They're the ones who made sure everything actually ran on time, handled the behind-the-scenes chaos, and somehow made it all look easy.
Yeah, so the volunteers again, right from the start, there have been several discussions, so great job all volunteers. Special call out to the non-committee volunteers like Vimal, who's been there from the start taking pictures, Neetu who helped us with the initial setup, and we have the handwriting specialist, Jitu, who actually helped us write the certificate, so thank you all.
Moving on, organizers, the Met Committee. They planned everything, coordinated everything, and probably stressed over everything. Definitely thank them.
Yeah, definitely. Rahul, great leadership as the president in getting all the event done, so wonderfully done. Jyoti, being the lieutenant to Rahul, and we didn't have Vipin here, but he also has been doing an amazing job. Rakesh, Rasia, Gayatri, and our women in Mint who made sure only girls are participating this year. So, great job, all the committees. I think I covered all right. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. You're about to forget someone. Yeah, the professional chair.
Oh, yeah, so absolutely right. I mean, Sharon was the backbone of this event. Right from the day, the amount of detail, as Manoj was saying, every single thing he actually, be it coming in odd times to UTD, on work days, on something, he made sure he stood there, and the presentations he ran for the events to the participants, the judges. Amazing job, Sharon. There's a lot to learn from you. The method to the madness is absolutely great. Great job. Yeah, I think, great job, Sharon, and great job, the rest of the committee.
All right, that's pretty much your list. Just wrap it up nicely, keep it short. People appreciate that more than you think. You're doing great, by the way. No pressure.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you for making this event. So, thank you all. Thank you for coming for this vote of thanks. For this event and being with us here. So before I wind up, I think there's a small. Philip wanted to say something.
Okay. I think you're all set. If anything goes wrong, I was never here.
Alright, so he gave the disclaimer. But before we go, there's a small token of appreciation we want to give the judges as well. So I'll give it back to Sharon to handle them.
So again, we've said this enough times, and we'll probably keep saying it again and again, but we want to thank you for your time. You probably can't fathom the amount of influence you have on these young minds and young hearts, and I know we got a little personal today and all of that stuff, so thank you for doing it. I think you should clap for the judges who are here. So we have these judges, they are so, they're in so many events, they get so many plaques and certificates, so we decided we're not going to do that. You have enough of those. So Srinja actually came up with this idea that we should do something personal. And so we got to get the right back to the right judge, but they're all customized. So Rahul, if you want to take one out, I think Rahul knows. So we have this Yeti custom mint tumblers.
with your last names on it. So thank you, Brody, for everything you do for Idea Time and Ment. I had to pick the colors, and so because I couldn't really ask you what your favorite color was, what I did is I tried to look you up online, and like with Manoj, it was a little bit easy because I went to his company's website and I found the branding color, and so it's close enough to that color, so I picked that, and that's exactly what I did with the others too. So thank you, Manoj. Thank you, Ranjit. And thank you to Shrija for that wonderful idea. Appreciate it. Is that it? Daniel wants to say something.
I can't be more happy because this was such a candid event. Everyone spoke here from their hearts. Judges judged from their heart. Judges even gave you the right advices from their heart. And I'm so happy that this has become such an impactful event. And this is just the beginning for you all. You never know, like Brody said, there are millions of dollars and millions of impacts and value waiting for you. So go chase your dreams. Thank you.